and welcome to another week's episode of the Eat Fruit Show. And I'm really excited to come. It's another Wednesday. Killa, what's goody?
You know, it's another Wednesday, hump day. We almost made it through another week. That's goody for me.
Eat fruit and mind your business.
We here. God has blessed us to see another week. I'm truly grateful. It's been a very crazy week since we last spoke, but like God is just always in control and we're always on higher vibrations. We're not going to let that negativity suck us in. We got a lot of great feedback on the playlist. So thank you guys so much for helping us to like catch vibes together. Bear Fruit, we'll say, was a success. So Amen. We said, all right, here y'all go. Here's another part of the fruit basket. And we dropped mango. So you should have listened to mango by now, but if you haven't, mango is out. Catch your vibes, wind up your waist. What would you say the playlist was inspired by, Killa?
Mango. Like you gave me the specs and it was like, let's do the female dance hall, like just fire. Let's bring that. And then you showed me the
cover art.
That's it. The cover art. And I was just like, stupid. This just hits. And then you were like, it's up. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna clean my kitchen and I'm gonna listen to this while I clean the kitchen. I'm just gonna stream it through the Apple Play and blah 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 blah. And I was just like, why can't I clean my kitchen? I was just like, because these are vibes. Like,
oh, serious vibes. Serious.
Like the vibe is mango.
Mango.
It's a real mango vibe still. It's a mango vibe.
Mango. A nice
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to buy some mangoes.
We don't peel nothing. You know what I mean? You damn near eat the whole thing.
The whole thing. Wash that skin and yam it all. I'm sorry.
That part.
I'm sorry.
Like, are you the thing if you don't?
Is there a way to eat mango? Because like by the time I'm done, I don't even care. That's why I have to eat mango in the comfort of my home.
Word. It's like that. That's the way mango's supposed to be. You're supposed to just take it down. That's it.
So guys, please be sure to stream. We have the links in the bio there. So stream mango playlist, catch a vibe, stream even the Bear Fruit playlist. Now we gave you 2 vibes you can mess with. On this playlist, we have some, for me, this playlist was like the part of the dance. I'll translate this for my other audience later. But this is the part of the dance when the man's on the speaker and he's like, tall of the girl them, independent girl them. Where you now wear your friend them clothes? Your arm them no smell green. Make me hear you say rare. Rare. Make me hear you say Walk out, my girl. Walk out, my girl.
And this is that point in the night where like everybody's face starts getting twisted up because they're well into their dance. And that's when you realize that you needed the CD from the last dance because now all the things are playing from that CD and everybody's doing all the dances and you don't know them.
You don't know them.
You got left behind. Like you literally got left behind and everybody else did it.
Bruh, we gave you the independent gal segment as best as we could. Like it was so difficult to put it into these 10 tracks, but I hope you guys appreciate it. We gave you Queen Patra. We gave you Tanya Stevens. We gave you Spice. Come on. We gave you Lady Saw. Respectfully, Lady Saw, I respect you, Queen, but you have way too many records that I could just not, like, I could do a whole Lady Saw playlist and it's
100%.
Queen.
Straight. Had to go on there. Like
had to.
Yeah.
Oh, beer vibes on there. You guys let us know what you think. And yeah, it's a vibe. Like I caught a vibe. You said you caught a vibe. As well, I want to remind you guys to continue to like, share on your social medias. The handles at Eat Fruit anywhere. Instagram, you can tag Downtown World wherever. As well, this episode right here is sponsored to you by Shop Downtown. Y'all know where to get the merch. The link is there. Killa, let them know where else we are sponsored.
No, it's icy little things, and then you should just double back and hit up bigkiller.com for the merch, for the lighters, for the sweatshirts. You know what I mean?
Cheeks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
As you can see, the baddies in the back, they're there. They're in full attire. So
Just out here doing things.
that is, I have to cop that one. It's just a whole vibe with like the bandulu phone.
Right?
Not the bandulu, the chip phone for when you go
Burner.
over. Yes, there we go. The burner phone,
The sugar bell burner.
the blunt, the nice breezy shirt. Like it's a whole
Right?
vibe.
Just living. Word to my mama, we living.
Legit.
Eat fruit and mind your business.
All right, guys. So we're not gonna waste no time. We're gonna get into pineapple fruit, and we got a lot to discuss. So I hope that we don't go off too much, but we got a lot to discuss. So I don't even know where to start, but I feel like let's start with DMX's funeral, his going away service. Did you have a chance? I know I sent you the link. Did you have a chance to catch any? Because I know you love Sunday service, and they were performing like throughout the whole thing.
And the way they put a blessing down for that man to go about his business with, I was just
Hallelujah.
like, wow. And like, it's like they went through the little the playlist, and I was just like, this is a very like anointed playlist. Like they're really sending this man off on some like recovering brother. Like Sunday service came and did Sunday service basically.
Bruh, it's the same feeling I get when I listen to DMX's, not the same, but like it was very close to the feeling I get when I listen to DMX's prayers, where it's just chills, that feeling you feel for those of you who've experienced church before, where it's just like that like feeling of just like, yo, is it conviction? I don't know, but it was very powerful. I only made it up to the family, like, no, up to Nas speaking. And then after, I was just out. I was crying too much. It was just, like, from even when the family was there, his kids were speaking, I was bawling. The oldest son was here, I was bawling. Then the daughter did her own.
Young children, like
His beautiful daughter, one of his beautiful daughters, did her own rendition of "Slippin'," and like hearing the hook and what she was saying, I was like, it was breaking my heart. Like I was bawling like a little bitch. I can't even lie. So I shut it off, and I just had a moment of prayer and like took a nap.
Yo, the man got his flowers, yo.
He did.
Like word is bond, the man got his flowers.
It's just, it's so sad seeing all these extra inner workings that are around this, but I was looking at it on a deeper way. Sorry, I don't want this to come out wrong, but I was looking at this whole situation in a different way, and I'm like, weddings and funerals, it feels like the only place Black people, Black families really that's when they decide to show up. I don't know if those are the two major events we were only like allowed to really have, when we stem it back. But like, I feel like at funerals and weddings, for some reason, that's when the families just don't know how to deal. They don't know how to deal. It's there on the internet. Like, I don't feel like I gotta like say it just out of respect for DMX, and just really like, he was a true king to me. So like, I really do have respect for what I'm saying, knowing that his children, go on the internet and things like that as well. But I remember even times being at like one of my grandmother's funeral, and like the way people go on and act, or like family members, everyone's together because no one's ever together.
Yeah.
And the way people just exchange that energy, it's really crazy. It's beyond like how people grieve. Like, the Black family, the way we deal with those situations, I don't know. They find like that's the time to cure all the drama. Why?
I feel like that's the one time that you're in that collective space, just like you said.
But it's not the time. My wedding, Shirley's wedding,
When else
Teresa's wedding, it's not the time. You have my number outside of this.
Yeah, but like the Black families also used to being dissected.
So are you saying like there's no space then outside of weddings and funerals for the Black family to appropriately, I don't want to say appropriately, but like in a healthy way express, what they're feeling or things maybe they wish they would have, like whatever it is, like, you know what I mean? I can openly say I have family that, nah, nigga, I don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
If that was too harsh for people to hear me say it like that, but that's what it is. You know what I mean? And when I go to events, like I'm very strong in what I say. So it's like when I go to places and then, that whole, they always try to have a moment. Like, you come here, you two cannot, like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Get in my whip and go. Like, because I'm personally just one of those people where I feel like it's not specifically just a blood thing for me, but like the factors that make me actually rock with a person.
Yeah.
And say, okay, you are a friend to me, you are family to me. It's beyond us just sharing DNA for me.
I feel 100%. I mean, that's how you end up with your best friends.
Don't act up at my funeral or my wedding.
I feel you on that one. Plain and simple.
Like, it's not the time.
But going back to your question, like there might not be one that we outright have in practice, but like that was a good segue into finding one. And you're right, it doesn't necessarily have to continue to be that way. Like it is the way it is now. But I don't know, like those are like major communication issues. So like how do we get around that?
Therapy.
That's
what I'm trying to say. I feel like that's the unhealthy practice in itself. That you don't feel these emotions and these thoughts arise until you feel like this is the time to articulate it at this funeral, this wedding. I get it. You're feeling the love. I get it. You're feeling the sadness. But like, partially, I feel like that's a bit selfish as well because this ain't about you right now. This is about the whatever reason why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just I guess being someone that's like, that's my opinion, just even, that's just how I feel. Like back to DMX, just, people feeling like they were cut out of the program. So they want to cut off like bruh. I remember being RIP to my cousin Clinton, and he was a biker. So I didn't expect any less when I seen the Rough Riders, like, because my cousin's funeral in Jamaica, it was like insane. Like, and the thing is, we were in the church while the pastor was just while the service was going on. My cousin wasn't a church guy, but of course, Jamaica, you're gonna funeral, right? And like the biker mans are out there popping, revving, pouring up, and that was their way of showing respect to him, like their culture of it. And the pastor, I remember him legit same shit, like stopped the funeral and was like talking about them, asking people to go outside, tell them to have reverence of the Lord, and it's just a whole thing. And it's just like, yo, it's really sad. That's what makes me more sad when I'm here to grieve this, like my cousin. Now I gotta grieve the embarrassment as well as like ain't nobody in here like it's a show. That was my little rant, you know. I know not everyone will agree. But it was just like overall, it was a really beautiful, powerful service. Like I really felt God within that like space. Like I shared, hence why I shared the link with you. Like I was just at home bawling, like, like, and then I had to just come out because I was just like, as we were speaking about before, I don't want to say it, but it's just like the people that we grew up with, like just seeing them go and it kind of being around this, I guess, according to science and the time, you know, it's hard. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, 100%.
Kobe, Nip.
It's just a lot of change. It's a lot of energy shifting.
But those are energies that like built us as like niggas were in school. Kobe.
like up until last week, 100%. But like at the same time, whenever I see like such a bright light get like blotted out, I have to think that they did their time.
I know. It's just us having to learn to.
Yeah, like we get more affected by it, unfortunately. But like Nipsey died, and I was just like, if God let him die, that means that like he did what he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? Now it's on everybody else to say, yo, what's my part? Like, where am I picking up?
And right when, sorry, just a segue, because it's just more crap on top of crap, guys. I'm sorry. Let me just.
Eat fruit and mind your business.
More pineapple fruit, but it's not that great, where it's just like, okay, fine, we have the guilty conviction for George Floyd's murderer, but then not even like hours later, they murder this poor young girl, Ma'Khia Bryant. And I purposely, like as you spoke on last week, this whole snuff porn. So up to now, I have not seen the video in full. And I don't need to. I don't want to. And I also tried to just not really take in like other people's opinions about it, because as someone that's been perceived as like a bad child at times, and people just really not knowing your situation or your home situation or whatever situation you were in at that time, as someone that's been around and really been friends with people that are part of these foster care systems, I feel like anyone that's somehow blaming this young girl for this, you like honestly disgust me. And that is a Black girl story. Sorry.
Word. Yeah. It's always gonna be retaliation with the thin skins. You know what I mean? Like at its simplest form, it's fear mongering. You know what I'm saying? Just like DMX gets to go, Nipsey gets to go. We got to do better. Like we also have to not be afraid of these things. They're literally like, they're supposed to keep us like in one room of our house at all times. And it hurt. And that's the thing, like it hurt so bad. But these type of things need like knowledge put out there. Like, what are they doing right now? Why did they do that? What was the psychological drawback? What does it cause you to do? And like, it'll seem like stupid conversations, but that's how you gird your mind in times like this. Because like, this is how they're coming for you. They're not shooting you. Well, they are shooting you off the streets, but like, this is how they're coming for who's left. You know what I mean? Like, scare them into not even wanting to express how it makes them feel. But then add the snuff porn to it and force them to fucking watch it all the damn time. You know what I mean? Like, That's another level of helplessness. And I kind of see that as the play in the moment. And some days I'm tired of it, but right now, like last year, I feel like I got sucked into it off the strength that I felt like I wanted my voice to be heard. And now I'm just like, who am I linked with? What are we doing? Like, what's next?
It's like, there's so many layers to this situation where like, I definitely just, as I said, like for me, and this is just my opinion, I'm not even speaking for Killa, like, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, number one, she is already a 15-year-old girl in a foster care home, a young Black girl. So you already know what that is. Okay? And the facts are there to show that these young girls, these other young, troubled young girls that came to beat her up again, because it wasn't the first time, this time they actually ran up to her yard. So, as being someone that's been in situations, was I supposed to stand there and just like cry? As you said, you learn your mind when you get into certain situations. It didn't look like homegirl was trying to stab nobody. It looked like she was just trying to scare people out. And it doesn't even fucking matter what she was trying to look like. The fact is, people ran up to her home, a bunch of girls, to beat her up.
Which is not illegal.
To beat her up. And as Black people, we're already conditioned, if you're being real with yourself, when situations happen, you have to think to yourself, bro, should I take the risk of calling the BLM or not? Because the situation never works in anyone's favor. And you pull up on the scene. You pull up on the scene as an officer, and you see all the commotion going on, and you see this young girl with the knife, and you see a bunch of girls going on, and the best you could fucking do was take out your strap and murder this young girl.
But that's what like the state patrol was always there to do. Like, always done. Even before there were cops, they were calling them other things.
Yo, I just like, as I said, it's like growing up and being around, like, for real, like I remember some of my best friends as a child, like being a part, like they would have a group home on my street, but like, yo, one of my veterans lived there. And even growing up with my mother, like she's a nurse, but before she became like a nurse just for like seniors, she used to deal with the group homes, and like the stories she would come home and tell me, sometimes she didn't have a babysitter for me. Like, we're from the ground. Like, I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not. So looking at this young girl, she's definitely in a situation that a lot of us can say, like, we've been in before.
%100.
I don't want to get like too like, you know, so I'm just, it's not left there, but I'm gonna just leave it there. Like, I'm so tired of people trying to like find a way to blame us. Too much of me growing up, I remember just having to tell people, but I didn't do anything, but she. She hurt me, she hit me first, she this. I'm just defending myself. From microaggressions in the workplace, like our whole entire fucking lives. And just, you know, I've been really thinking to myself about the type of individual that decides to be a cop. That's kind of the thoughts I've been playing with.
Word.
And I'm not saying all, but most of the times it's some real losers from small towns that have never been nowhere, done nothing, seen nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like in a town where maybe that's something that is a good thing to get a job, like the army or some shit. And they apply and get the job, and there were some real scaredy youths that are just not ready to deal with people, to deal with humans. Being a social worker, when I used to practice in the field, I can openly say I made the mistake one time of like, I remember being in this space. It's not funny at all. I remember being in this space and I was in charge of supervising the computer room so people of all sorts can come in at the settlement agency and deal with the services. And I remember like speaking with this woman in there and not even realizing that like she was schizophrenic, this whole situation. And she didn't attack me, but the situation became uncomfortable. Don't want to go too much into detail, but like I had to think about my training and just me as an individual, because I've learned my mind in plenty of situations, and I know I ain't no scared of you. And like I had to be like, okay, calm her down, not make her feel threatened. You know what I mean? Talk to her, slowly back out of the situation, and then call someone. You know what I'm saying? To come in, not to hurt her, not to abuse her, just to help, you know what I mean? Get herself together. And I feel like as police, like, bro, you're pulling up to a group home. What do you need to strap for? Because a group home, like, bro, it's a bunch of girls. And I'm sure that's not the first time you've been called or you feel like, oh, you always, like, whatever the case is. It's unacceptable. It needs to change. I still feel unsafe, very unsafe. Like, you think people want to call the police now when something's going on and then ask us what's the issue, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Sorry, Killa. I know I went off. Guys, it's a bit sad. I'm sorry.
Eat fruit and mind your business.
Just remember where they came from. They've been murderers from day one. Like, remember where they came from. They were supposed to be rounding up slaves that decided they didn't want to take their shit no more. That was their whole job in life. And that's what they do now. Like, nothing's changed. And that's why we need to start calling spades spades. It's just like, it is what it is. They are who they are. You can call them civil servants. You can call them anything else that you want. But
I feel like this is, as I said, guys, I'm sorry. I feel like it's a heavy episode. Because on top of that, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the world. A lot going on. But on top of that, you know, I don't even know what do you want to talk about next, Killa?
let's talk about Prince.
All right.
You know.
We miss you, Prince. We love you, Prince.
Love you.
True king.
I don't feel like he got his flowers.
Not at all.
I don't feel like he got his flowers.
I
feel like even today, people are really realizing like the type of gangster that he was. You know what I mean?
It's beyond the shade. It's like this man was literally a genius. Like none of y'all would be eating right now off of this thing called streaming in the music industry if it was not for this man. Picture a quarantine with no streaming of music. You can't. So people need to put some serious respect on Prince's name. We miss you, King. definitely, I was watching a few interviews with him, reminiscing, and just like looking at just what he gave us, the things people saw, the things people didn't see. And it's sad. Like, it's really sad. It's disgusting. Humans are very wishy-washy when they're ready.
Thin-skinned. But then I have to look at it and say that like you always have to have something that's worth fighting for. And maybe that's why he was like this shit. Because he also always made sure that like that's the priority he gave to life kind of thing.
Legit. But we miss you, Prince. Your style was impeccable. I went down a rabbit hole of just like his
still your girl, like with the mascara on and eyeliner.
Cheese.
And the assless chaps.
Cheese.
You just lost your girl.
Cheese. He was just so like, yeah, just beautiful. And like everything that he says, like the more I'm like building and doing what I'm doing, I'm just like, it hits more than ever. Like, as I said, from streaming to how the music is being made.
Yeah.
How people go about, just valuing their craft, being independent, what that really means, just all of that, true king. Speaking, since we're in music, just going along those lines, Kanye versus Kirk Franklin and our acceptance of how we deal with
parallels, but also like lack thereof. Yeah, I just feel like Kanye gets a lot of flack for not necessarily bothering to choose his words when he's in the media. And yeah, he's messy, but we're not necessarily like, we don't rock with Kanye. Whereas to me, Kirk Franklin is also an extremely messy man. But like, we want to like kind of put that to the side and almost like back him up in a way. And I'm not saying we shouldn't back up Kirk Franklin. I'm just kind of saying like, extend that also to Ye. You know what I mean? Can we stop canceling Ye? Like, he does some cancelable stuff. I can see it, but like, he's that uncle that nobody wants to invite to the barbecue because like his wife can't cook and his children ain't got no damn manners. But like, he comes to the barbecue because he's part of the fucking family. You understand? Like,
when you said you wanted to discuss this, like, I was giving it a lot of thought, right? And as people know, I've said it before, I'm a PK. And like, when that whole situation went down with Kirk Franklin and his son, like, I definitely, there was a lot of things that I was thinking about. But at the same time, I was one of those people and still am, to be like, his son should have kind of handled that differently. And I say that from being literally in the same position as him. And my reasoning for that was because I had to come to a place where I understand this is something my dad has signed up for and not me. And I shouldn't feel that guilt of not being that a part of that perfect image that the church loves to give off, where you're sitting on the altar with them and, just that whole, like, but I also like respect what he has going on. So though I may feel certain ways about certain things, I wouldn't like ever go to his church and grab the mic and be like, like, never. And in a way, to me, Kirk's son grabbed the mic at the podium and did that. And it's just like, bro, you're not signed up for that life, right? And you've accepted that as your father, or haven't, clearly, but like, don't now. I admit there's times I just want to draw this parallel so people don't feel like I'm just talking out of my like ass. You know what I mean? Or just like I've definitely feel slighted or seen how like you can answer every call for the church and be there so much for the church, and but I'm here lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Gone through that. Still go through it. So I go back to what I say, where I had to go on that journey with myself, because I had to realize it wasn't up to him and how this whole thing really goes. Because to be honest, he chose what he wants to do, and that's that. So on the same front where I'm like, yo, accept me for who I am, vice versa. You know what I mean? And just we build our relationship where we can. And I feel like the church has this habit, and Black people that have grown up in the church have this habit of like, when it's someone that, it's like the whole concept of even like my mom wanted me to preferably probably date someone that goes to church. I'm like, bruh, just because they're in the building does not mean that they're better than someone that's not in the building. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just that whole like psychology of just being like, oh, because they're here, it's like good. No.
Truth.
What do you think, Killa?
I hear what you're saying from your perspective, just off of growing up a PK, but I'm still gonna look at that and say, like, if in his 30-something years, the man just decided, fuck it, like, you're getting lit up today. After 30-something years of like my father moving a particular way with me, like, I don't really care what he was set up and how he was set up to do it. Like, that's on him. That's his business. Good for him. Like, wherever I am with him, personally as his child, like, that's all that guy needs to think about, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, as somebody who's actually being abused, you know what I mean? And you've been in this abusive paradigm with your father your whole entire life. Like, what you do with it is your business. And really, like, whatever you do with it, for me, when I seen it, it was just like, so you got outed for your outcomes. No big, you got outed by your outcomes. No big deal. You know what I mean? Like, guaranteed, if you are that person who's walking with God the way the community thinks you are, God spoke to you about it more than once, and will more than likely keep speaking to you about it. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's what I'm saying. I've been on that side of like having certain situations or being immature about it and dealing with it the way his son did, right? And like, I had to realize that, like, yo, this man, like, his brain is just programmed a certain way. And like,
right, but even in learning that, you have to understand that that's actually a personality situation, even before that's a calling situation.
But I'm saying, instead of me sitting there and how I used to, I feel like, always blame my father for things and have those outbursts and have those like things like that, bro, that's not healthy. Like, that's something you got to deal with, because this person is never going to change. You can't force them to do what they don't want to do. You can't force them to want to build a relationship with you. You can't force them to give a fuck about you. You understand that, bro, unless you were a part of that world and you're like, yo, I want to be on the mic with you, or I want to be someone in your choir, they're not really going to pay you no mind. And like, that is something that like you have to deal with in a healthy manner. Talk to someone, journal about it, but do not grab the mic at the altar and try to like, I've been watching this series that I love, about the Medici family, Medici Magnificent. You all know I love my old shows and my period pieces. And like, it's about Florence and like, you know, just how Italy coming about and stuff. And it's just like this whole thing with like the prior, and when he started talking about Christ to the people, and then the Medici family wasn't rocking with that, because they're like, bro, mans are not going to the Pope and it's messing with their bread, and all that, the whole like circle around. And it's just like, bro, Lorenzo's son now ends up wanting to follow Christ and not like really doing what they were doing. And the father himself had to realize, like, yo, there's some things that are more important at times than the church. But I feel like our parents, that generation, that Bobby Jones gospel, that Shirley Caesar, that George Banton, like, they're programmed a certain way.
100%.
And Kirk Franklin is a part of that. And I'm just saying, what I do notice is how the church will sweep it under the rug as they do a cheating husband, as they do the whatever the situations are that go in church, they sweep it under and protect that person, as you said, as they did Kirk Franklin, more than they do someone like Kanye West.
100%. Because
they're already mad at him. They feel like because he had, you know, mixed children and da 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 da. But if you really look at it, church is just a place filled with a bunch of broken people anyways.
Facts.
Eat fruit and mind your business.
We ain't gonna get too much into church, because I know, like, sometimes I forget we're doing the show and it feels like I'm just talking with you as we do, and we just be going off, and I'm like, I have to remind myself. Please, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying this episode. Hit that subscribe button. But we said today was gonna get a little deep. Kill it. What else did you want to say about this situation? I feel like pray for both.
That's literally what I want to say. It's just like take A and take B as well. You know what I mean? Like, take all your brothers. Take all of them. They're all in need.
Yes, we are.
But, like, don't forget, we need a buddy system out here. So, like, try not to leave your brother out for real.
That part. Okay, so with that being said, you know, there's more toxicity happening out there. And and I watched the interview. I kind of been loosely following this story with Maja Hype, the comedian Hardy Har Har, and his now ex-girlfriend Kirby. But Unwind with Tasha K recently came out with an interview with Kirby. And I do like to watch Unwind with Tasha K stuff. I really do. I feel like she is one of those underdog people that she shouldn't even be underdog. And I feel like she doesn't get a lot of the respect she deserves, because her sources are very, like, she comes with the receipts. And that's what I appreciate about what she does on her YouTube channel. And she doesn't, like, hold back. Because even that LaToya Forever and Adam Ali situation happening and them going through their separation, and Adam sat down with Unwind with Tasha K, and, you know, watching that interview, I just love the perspective, you know, she helps to bring in the space she gives people. With that being said, you know, did you watch it?
I did watch it. Whenever shit goes down, like, it's going through Tasha K, son. Like, you know what it is when it goes through Tasha K. It's like, and it was one of those interviews.
Bruh. I don't even know where to start. Like, first of all, like, Maja Hype, ew.
There's somebody for somebody. I mean, everybody.
No, not you for the pegging. Not you for the pegging. And I definitely believe that, because you in Atlanta, a lot, no issue. Do what you do that satisfies you sexually. Is when she was describing that he would beat her ass and then be like, hurt me.
Yeah.
And that's how you want to be hurted. There's certain parts of this, it's just like, I don't care that her videos came out. I don't care y'all saw her taking it, all of that. I don't care. There's certain things when you listen to what people are saying and you're reading it, you know that is not a lie.
Yeah. No, she built a very concise profile of a very like mentally like not right human, because I don't want to call him mentally ill and make it seem like he doesn't have responsibility or accountability to take. But like that is definitely like, that's just not even taking accountability. That's definitely going to be therapy for him to be a normal human being that's allowed to be part of the population. And yet they're allowed to be part of the population.
I don't even, okay. So that is not okay. And let me tell you, when she was talking about that, I was like, I know this girl is not lying about this abuse. Because this is what I'm going to say. I feel like a lot of women, a lot of people, they idolize these people on social media and these celebrities. And they fall so in love with what they see. I want to get the proper term. It starts with a P. Hold on. Because I want to help to broaden and add actual receipts to the conversation. Oh my God. Sorry, Killa. But I want to get the term. Yes. It's called a Panasonic relationship. A lot of y'all are in Panasonic relationships with these celebrities, influencers, the characters that they've developed that you feel like you see on screen. And let me just give the people the definition. Okay? Please tell me. Oh no. I feel like I got the term wrong. I'm so sorry. Okay, Killa, you can go on because I really want to find this term.
Yeah. I also have to look at like the flip side of it, where it's just like, so after dating this man and like your whole entire life basically having to get put on standby because if not it's going to shambles, what's been normalized in your childhood or in your house, your childhood like household, why you and Maja Hype could align the way you did? Right. And that's not a diss thing. That's like a, so that man has a lot of work to do, but you have some work to do too, kind of thing. Because like, to meet one means that you're gonna meet more than one. And I was kind of left thinking, like, how old was she? I wasn't able to get her age, and I was kind of like, there comes a point where you kind of get tired of dating the same kind of dude. But I didn't get any of that information. So for me, it's just like, low key, what does he mirror in my life? You know what I mean? Like, where have I seen him before? When did I start seeing him? How did I normalize him? Because that's what it is. Like the shit that he was on, like she had to be quick to normalize it. Even though her spirit was like, she had some part during that interview where she's like how the man woke up like nothing happened and filled the room with flowers. And how like by the time she got to the bathroom and looked at her face, she was just like, yo, I feel like I'm at my own funeral. And I was like, look at that, like perspective. You know what I mean? Your whole entire spirit is saying no. Like this is not a joyous moment at all. And that doesn't take away from the fact that like men like that are unfortunately a dime a dozen.
And I find a lot of Caribbean men. Are we gonna say it?
Yeah, we're gonna say it. We have to say it. Like, it's the perfect cocktail. You have abusive fathers, you have coddling mothers. Nothing you ever do is wrong. You have no ability to like be about introspection. You're thin-skinned.
So the proper term is called a parasocial relationship.
There you go.
And this is according to the definition on findpsychologist.org. And they say parasocial relationships are one-sided relationships where one person extends emotional energy, interest, and time, and the other party, the persona, is completely unaware of the other's existence. Parasocial relationships are most common with celebrities, organizations such as sports teams, and television stars. Okay. And I feel like a lot of y'all are seeing these celebrities on social media and falling in love with them. You know what I mean? Lil Baby, Gunna, Maja Hype, whoever these like people are. Not to say any of those other names I mentioned are I don't know. Even this, I don't know their life. You know what I mean? Eat from my business. But it's the fact of like, you never know these people until you actually meet them. And that's very dangerous because.
And even when you meet them, like 5-minute veneers are like a thing. You don't get to know somebody like just upon meeting them.
They're already dealing with the fact of like feeling like nobody really knows and loves them. They only know and love them for who they really aren't. Whew. Maja Hype is literally playing 5 to 6 different people. And one thing I need y'all to know, as someone that tries to make content on the back end,
daily,
it's not easy to get in that creative mind space.
But also to know that like the outcome is completely different from what you're doing in that moment. Because you're still only one person. That's all like in the back end. So when you're doing it, that shit doesn't even look like that. You know what I mean?
Her poor son.
Yeah. That was something where I'm like, okay, like that's also always like a warning sign to me. Just like you have to put your child first in that. It's like your child, even though it seems like you should know how to deal with that, you don't know how to deal with that until you're in it. Like I said,
you don't.
Sometimes the way you grew up sets you up to be okay with things you shouldn't be okay with. So even your psychology isn't set up for it. You know what I mean? But like this child will be.
Sorry, Killa.
Really hurt my feelings. Like when she was like,
you said this child what?
I don't even know.
But like, okay. I feel like, okay, you said for me to move out here and you knew I had my youth and you're like, all right, come my youths are here too.
Yeah.
And like, I can't serve for shorty, as I said. Not to say that gives any right to any of the stuff that they described that went down. But it just seems like, I don't know, like I love a lot of artists, but when it actually comes down to it, to actually want to be around them in that type of space and energy, I don't know. And it sucks because they seem like they were on and off, like, you know, friends with benefits type of thing, and decided to make it official.
I don't think people realize like how big of a jump that is.
Huge.
To like throw everything out of your head and just be like, all right, cool. We can exchange bodily fluids on some capacity. And that's that. Like that's next to nothing in terms of like creating a life with another human being. Some of the things she was talking about, like, oh, you know, he didn't want my furniture in the house. Like he was giving my furniture away to his friends. Like he'd get mad if I moved his shit. And I was like, was he really in a place where he was open to sharing his life with another person?
No.
You know what I mean? Like did you think about that before she got there? That these were things that were going to come with it. And that's part of living with somebody. You know what I mean? Like creating that space. And then that kind of made me feel like, okay, y'all moved a bit quick. Y'all had to move fast for that.
Well, in those situations, right? Because you know what I mean? We all have our things that we are dealing with, right? From the way we grew up, our environments, all of that. So for some people, a man comes and he's like, I got everything. I got the bills. I got everything. Just come. Some women, some people, they don't really question too much in between that. And they really do just follow it and just come. They don't really question, you know what I mean? Because
that is definitely I don't know. To me, even the time, like, even though you can't really always base it off of time, when you're rushing something, you feel it in your gut. And it usually does come down to like, yo, it's only been this amount of months. You know what I mean? And yeah, you succumb to the whirlwind. But at the same time, like, if it's not the right situation, like you always get that, like, even if it's that little twitch, you get it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I just like, I'm praying for you, Kirby. I'm praying for you, Maja Hype. I'm praying for all those children involved. How she spoke about his children.
Oh my goodness.
And how his children never would come out. That moment was like, I don't even know if the mom for those kids were like, y'all, you can take the kids.
Yeah.
That's the energy I was getting. Like, you can take the kids, nigga. I'm not staying here.
Bananas. So the child just like walked up to her and was like, yeah, you're gonna get it too, by the way.
My mouth, like, the whole interview, to be honest, my mouth was like just open.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, as she was like bringing us into the inner workings, as I said, I was watching her, I was listening to her, I was reflecting on videos I've seen of him. I'm reflecting on, maybe women I've heard him intertwine with, circles he moves in. And I'm like, yeah, she's telling the truth.
She talked about how she woke up on the neighbor's lawn and how she just walked back to the house barefoot.
Oh God.
Like those kind of things, those are details that get stained in your mind when like you end up in those type of traumatic situations. Like thumping her in the chest and all that shit, like the girl turning around and saying, no, nobody hit me at all. Like maybe she didn't experience it with Maja Hype, but she definitely experienced those situations.
I didn't even get into the other girl with the threesome and her role in this because I don't feel like she's the only one. And
no, it's just like those people are called flying monkeys. That's the actual like clinical term for them is
flying monkeys.
Flying monkeys.
Jeez. Okay.
And they just sit down and facilitate shit for these people. They almost make them look like they're human.
Gladys Maxwell.
They're not.
Oh. Listen, when she said she went to sleep it's like, and I could hear everyone being like, why don't you just leave? You don't like.
The way she was describing it though, like that's a lot of stuff that happened in like less than 24 hours. Like
but when you're like, maybe the things she wasn't saying, not enough bread stack to just go like that.
But you know what she did, because she drove 8 hours to Florida. But to me, she was honest about the fact that she wasn't ready to believe that that's who he was.
And I also feel like drugs were involved.
I'm going to be in denial about this.
To be very,
I'm going to go back.
I feel like drugs were involved.
Say that again?
I feel like drugs were like involved and they didn't want to say that part because then we all going to jail.
Well, I mean, for you to take those type of tumps.
Yeah.
Wake up on your neighbor's lawn and then just have sex with the nigga. Like both of you were on that Hercules, like.
And I'm gonna be real. Well, I'm being real this whole time, but But like, wow. Like, it's just, there's, as I said, Ma'Khia Bryant, Kirby, like, there's too many Black women stories that are common. Like, this story is not, I'm saddened to say it's not something out of the box for me. It's not so out of the box for me to hear.
That's legit what I thought too. I was just like,
classic Caribbean man relationship.
This is classic Caribbean man bullshit. Yeah. And then when she was like, how she sent the picture to the mom, and the mom's like, what did you do? That I didn't even flinch when I saw that. I was like, of course she did.
Of course.
That's the only response she could have given to a woman saying, your son, your man child, got up and thumped me in my delicate fucking face. Like, what did you do? And it was just like, and how many doors did you walk into, ma'am? You. Okay, I get it now. I wasn't expecting anything else. Not a damn thing.
Moms, you have to stop. You're having the same issues with the guy that you're trying to talk to, but it's okay for your son to move like that? Okay. All right. Okay. You know, and I'm gonna, yes, and I've seen the Kirby videos and other ones of her and other sexual encounters, but she spoke about that. And I'm not saying her side, but I'm just saying by a lot of what she's saying, I could tell she's telling the truth. He knew about them videos. He would beat off to them. As she said, I'm sorry, this is really descriptive for people, but he would literally masturbate to videos with her with other men and what was in her phone. Fine, benefit of the doubt. Maybe a video was in there that he never knew was there or seen before. Even then, bro, why are you coming on the internet, showing the phone, making it like you were still in character?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, why does a woman have to speak to her sexuality because she's being abused by a man? You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is, like, she's not even embarrassed about the video. She's just like, that's a sexual encounter that I had from time. Obviously, she likes it being videotaped.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Like, mind your business. That's to eat fucking food and mind your business. Like, what she wants in her...
Eat fruit and mind your business.
In her bedroom, like, why can't it just stay her business? You know what I mean? Like, you have allegations of basically thumping her in the chest and dragging her by the hair a good, like, what, 8 feet? And your response is, oh, but she's a hoe.
And you are?
And it seems like it always works. It's like, oh, but she's a hoe though. Oh, but she's a hoe. Oh, but R. Kelly pissed on her. Oh, but she's a hoe though.
And your male thought, like...
That part.
Like,
and that's like the worst thing ever.
These men are out here literal walking STDs. Like, I can't tell you how many actual girls I know in real life that have messed with these guys in real life. Like,
eat fruit and mind your business.
And told me the next day they had green shit or whatever oozing out of their body parts and called a superstar dude, whether it's on sports teams or artists. I'm being like real nice by not saying any names because that's my health, bruh. That is my health. And they've called the man like, yo, did you know that, like, why is this? And yes, people shouldn't be having unprotected sex all the whole nights, but it happened and here we are. But you as a grown man, a lot of these grown men know they have disease, know they have stinky penis, know they don't have proper hygiene. And they're giving these women, their partners these things and then blaming it all on the partner. It takes two. If you're funky, you have a dirty genital area, you put it in my clean self, you are contaminating my area.
Word.
I know a lot of y'all didn't pay attention in sex ed, but there's a thing called hosts and carriers. Like, disgusting. And that's the behavior that's the behavior I like. See Maja Hype defending because that's what's being done out there.
But then mandem defend mandem.
And this is where the whole purpose and origin of this podcast comes, bro. Queens, treat yourself as queens, and kings, treat yourself as kings. Because my guy friends can tell you, I'm not hesitant to be like, bro, you should value yourself more. Any girl that flings a smile at your face, you're just flinging her the slang. Like, you don't value yourself?
No.
This, like, till now the children are involved in it. God knows how it's going to affect them moving forward.
I mean, it's already affecting them.
I can definitely tell Kirby has been taking therapy because, you know, based on how she was talking and stuff, and there's no way you can be, well, there is a way because Black women do it all the fucking time. But I can tell that she's seek therapy.
I mean, she would have to. That's pretty lit.
Maja Hype, please get help. I don't know you. You know me.
You know what? Like, do it to normalize getting help.
And typical Jamaican style, Caribbean style, they're like, who had this a girl? This a dirty Frank girl. Thinks that she can't talk. Yeah. Get help, bro. All of us need help.
That man is from Grenada and doesn't want to claim Grenada.
Because everybody wants to be Jamaican.
Because he got to spend his time in East Kingston and grew up there.
Yeah.
Please leave us out of it this time.
I'm so like, it's just so sad. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like Kirby was speaking on, you know, we're taught to not speak about these things out loud. You know, her family was super cheesed that she was getting and even speaking her side, her piece on the situation. But these are conversations that we need to keep having to know that it's not okay.
Word. And
the generations of the auntie and the grandma saying, just don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Him touch you? No, him never touch you. You sure him touch you? Like all of that. Dead that. We're done. Yeah. We're done. I hope the translation is speaking. I hope you guys are taking what I'm saying in between what I'm saying. But it's done. From Ma'Khia Bryant to Kirby, have some respect for our queens. Kings, have some respect for yourself. These are the things you all want to put black squares on your social media, talk about all the things that are turning down the economy and the ways we are being affected. These are the inner part of the inner workings.
That part.
I'm real hot this weekend. I'm
totally
sorry.
Understand. Like, this is like the everyday of a Black woman.
God.
Every day on the everyday.
How, like, you know, of course people can say, oh, you shouldn't have went there in the first place. You shouldn't have went back, But everybody had a role to play in that.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't Kirby, it's clearly other people as well.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I'm praying for everyone in that situation. Unwind with Tasha K, you know, thank you, Queen, for just doing your thing and not being afraid of sharing these truths, because it is very, as being someone that's interviewed with people and they have told their real stories, like, and you're having to be there to soak this in, whether they're on the better side of it or not, that's not easy. It's not easy, especially for something that was so popular for the wrong reasons. But I hope people do take in this ginger, this Jamaican ginger that we laid. This hot Jamaican ginger.
Grated up.
Grated up.
Just grated up one time.
Mm.
She's in her feelings today. Passionate today.
I'm sorry. I didn't even expect, like, I knew what we were going to discuss, but I didn't even expect to get, like, so upset. But as I said,
totally feel you. It's not my frequency today, but I realize that, like, on any given day, it could be your frequency because, like,
it's what we live.
Same old shit.
Literally, it's what we lived. So let's get into, you know, how are you doing mentally, Killa? As you said, a lot's been going on.
Like, honestly, I had that written down, like that mental check-in, just to show, like, it could be any little thing. It could be like a 2-second delay you're putting on yourself that just gives you that opportunity for your brain to say, or for your mind to say, I'm good. I can continue doing this, or, you know, I need a change.
Yeah.
And that's I feel like I've been operating like that specifically for the last couple of years, but even now in the middle of the pandemic,
For real.
you know what I mean? It's just like touching bases every day. I wake up and it's just like, where are you today? How do you feel about this? You know what I mean? Like, how do you feel about where you're at? How do you feel about your capacity? You know what I mean?
Legit.
Taking those mental checks and solo dance parties. Solo dance parties.
Art life.
I shot with a lovely young lady named Azaria, and she had like playlists set up because you know music is her thing.
Lit.
And she had old school Rocky, like she played Goldie, and I was like, I forgot I love Jody, and I've just been on like an old school Rocky like rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's been a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I be getting into my Eric Clapton, my Queen bag. We might drop a rock playlist, like
Why not?
musically inclined. We're here.
You already see where the fire is. Like
We got the sauce. Like it's a Libra thing.
Let's go. And that's when you're like, okay, well, like to come up with this much for the playlist. I'm like, we're two Libras. It's fine. It'll be great.
And guys, make sure you let us know what you think, tag us, share, subscribe. We don't know unless you say anything. So you guys just continue, and thank you so much as well for your support thus far. Mentally, I know you mentioned like just I've been feeling it. I won't, speak on anyone else's business, but I've definitely been feeling it of just like this little slump of just like, I go into my hole. I don't really want to talk to anyone. I might not even return calls or texts. Like I'm just in that hole. It's just like, I don't want to say lower vibrations, but just a lot going on where you're just like, oh my God, like I gotta take a nap for a week.
That has literally been my week. Just like planning out the amount of time I have to allot to work and then just taking naps.
Yeah.
It's work, naps. Work, naps, anime. Work, naps, anime.
Anime and period pieces just be breaking me through life. I'm telling you. It just opens up my mind.
I just bust down One Piece. Shout outs to the Genos them. The Genos them love One Piece. The Genos them put me onto One Piece. One Piece is a thing.
Sick. I feel like when things are happening, I guess you could say in our favor or in my favor, I'm learning to not just like pick up the phone and call people to like complain about what's going on. Because I feel like that was something that like I would just do as a response. And it wasn't like, I feel like now looking at it, it's not like healthy. Like I need to sit and dwell in that, reflect on it, maybe write it down, see it for myself before I shared the thought with like others.
Agreed. Just off the strength that there seems to be a lot of negativity out there, it kind of just adds to the negativity. But also in this day, specifically like in these times, my spirit is just like, it might not feel good. It might not look good, but it's all good. You know what I mean? Like wherever you're going, you're getting there. It might not look like it. It might not feel like it right now. You know what I mean? Like we're all kind of schlumpy. We're feeling that energy, but like if you're on that committed path, you're on that committed path.
Yeah.
Yesterday, today, tomorrow, kind of thing. And it's just for me remembering that every moment is just a moment in time. Like this is just one moment in like a string of X amount of moments. This is just one of them. And remembering that like it looks a certain way, but then like it feels a different way. You know what I mean? Like there's an underlying space where there's just a lot of belief and a lot of faith and a lot of gratitude and all those things that like you had when you felt like you had the juice or you had the energy up. Like it's still there kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just kind of how I look at it. It's like,
Legit.
it's there. It don't look like it's there. It don't feel like it's there. It's there.
And I thank God for the Oracle killer.
Hey.
Because a lot of times where I just
right as rain.
legit, I just need to like feel a bit more grounded. I definitely be calling killer.
Church on Sunday.
Legit. Any day of the week, church on Sunday. Because like it's especially like I don't know if this is being too like vulnerable for people, but like it's really scary for me a lot. Like building downtown world and doing what I'm doing. I know on the outside to people, they're like, they say whatever they say, good or bad. But like, you know more of the story, killer, but like a lot of people don't know the things that like I go through. And like it's just really lonely sometimes to just feel like, or you have those moments where it's just like, if I were to quit now, would anyone even like care? But it's like, you know the answer to that. So, but it's just for whatever reason, you got to just ask yourself that sometimes. And I don't always hate being in that space because that's what promotes a lot of creativity for me. You know, I am definitely one of those people. I do put a lot of pressure on myself to be better and greater, but like, yeah, like you can do this. I can do this. You can do this. And though we may question ourselves at times and like get into these slumps, like it doesn't mean that you're doing horribly. It doesn't mean that you're less than. It just means the universe is trying to guide you somewhere and make you see something that maybe you're not realizing as quick.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a time to do less.
Yeah. Who?
People don't realize that. Like, surrender. Know when to surrender.
Yeah. Like, and that's really hard.
It is. It is. But it's one of those things that like, once you get to the other side, it makes a different kind of sense. You know what I mean? Because you do come out on the other side.
And that's the thing.
Has been coming to me a lot in the last week. And it's like, it's a good thing. Sorry, I think I like cut into your...
No, I'm listening to you. Not at all. Go off. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, that's basically it. Just like, we all kind of want to be about what we want.
yeah.
But like, you forget how many, like, your ego gets fed a lot more than you realize.
Mm.
And your ego is part of you. So sometimes you want things and it's just like,
why?
You don't want, like, you want something in a carnal sense and you don't even necessarily know why you want it or if you even really need it.
Yeah.
And you should be able to surrender sometimes, especially when you feel like, well, when I feel strongly about things, I try to surrender. Because if it's really meant for me to have it, I know I'm aligned properly. Like I'm aligned with power and abundance. Yeah. So I'm gonna get that stuff.
Yes.
But it's just like sometimes surrendering your will. Surrendering your movements. And sometimes that's what being in a slump is about. It's just like chilling and being like, this is just a slump, it's not quicksand. Like, let me just ride this out. Let me just see what I hear. Let me see what I see, like, because I'm still now.
Yeah.
Just be.
Like, you know, these past couple of weeks, I know people have noticed I haven't done like Instagram lives. And I'm not one of those people that like, I feel like I need to like put it in my story, put it in my feed, like taking a social media break. Like real ones that know me real life, they'll contact me if they don't like my friends understand me, you know? And it's like just having like over these past couple of weeks that I've just taken the time to just, yes, I do ask myself, what is the point of the lives? What is the point of the show? What is the point of having another show, Eat Fruit? What is the point of having the website, period? Yes. I ask myself these things on a continuous basis. And through me asking myself that, it also helps align me and speak abundance and greatness into my life and know that I am powerful and I can do something that I haven't seen nobody like in my family do before.
Amen.
Own that. Like, I remember when we were speaking a while ago, and you were speaking on like the tortoise versus like, yeah.
100%. I love all those like kitty books where like there's all sorts of wokeness just interwoven and hidden in there. Just like, oh wow. It's like when you put in that work and you don't worry about what's in front of you other than like your left foot to your right foot, like that's all faith. Like the man had no muscles to win what he was supposed to win and he won.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those like hard work beats talent. Talent don't work.
I do kind of want to read this quote that I posted this week. And guys, if you are enjoying the episode, I know it's been a heavy conversation, but please remember to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and leave us a review so we know, what's happening. But this quote says, a tip for mental health: learn to distinguish who deserves an explanation, who deserves one answer, and who deserves absolutely nothing.
I like those ones because they give you instruction, but really everything points back to know yourself. It's a great tip. It's like it's a time for shadow work.
Farrell. So
sometimes you just have to curve a thing,
let's get into a play on Vogue. That's it for pineapple fruit this week, guys. We know it's happy. Not like Kiki Kaka, but like there's some serious times and there's always serious things going on, but like we really felt like these are the conversations that need to be had this week. And we hope that you guys are blessed by it. I'm feeling blessed. But a play on Vogue, Killer Win Tour.
So this week we're just gonna throw out like a random Charlie Murphy story. And really, if I thought about it, this should have been today's color. I could have just been like, hello, Mr. Anderson. Have you met Mr. Anderson? Have you met Norway?
No, I haven't. Okay. But I've been jealous.
You haven't? Okay. Okay, because it's a whole Libra thing. And I know for sure like him and Torian have like a third eye laser beam for each other. And
literally
like was there a whole like super friends thing? Yeah. Norway Anderson is the GOAT. He's the GOAT of the fashion industry. Anybody who tells you anything else is on some we lynch Negroes from trees shit. Hands up, hands down. If you're connected with Norway, you're always gonna be connected with like the wildest Rolodex that you could ever fucking like think. You would never have thought of it.
Yeah.
Basically. The only other place that I've seen like 6 degrees like that is from going to an Adventist like high school. Mm. That's the only other place where I was just like, yo, this connection situation is heavyweight.
Yeah.
I remember like I just walk over to Norway's office after work. I worked at like Adelaide, New York. He was at Spadina in front. So I just take, weird little back roads, go straight to Norway's after work, just chill out with him in the sunshine. And like this day I didn't call. Usually I say, yo, what's up? What you doing? Whatever's popping. And it's a whole thing. We're going to the house. Something's popping at the house. Blah, rah, rah. This time I was just like, yo, I got time. I'm off a little bit early. I'm just gonna hit up Norway. And I get up to Norway's office, and like at the door, there was like a window. So there was an office, a window area, and then a back office, which was smaller, had a few tables. That's where like the desks were, blah, 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 blah. So I'm looking at the window and I'm just like, who is in Norway's office? And I'm walking up to the second door, and the closer I get, I'm like, is Norway just chilling with Anna BC?
Jeez.
And I walk inside the office, and Anna BC is just chilling, like sprawled out, chilling beside Norway.
Jeez.
And like just drops a grin, and I'm just like, Simon Anna BC? And I'm not saying anything to him, but I'm just looking at him because I'm like,
is it you?
And like I've seen him around in Toronto, but I was just like, why are you smiling like that? Like, I can't even be afraid of you anymore. You know what I mean? Like, he just has like that megawatt smile, just like anybody's ex. And I was just like, you smell like my ex-boyfriend. I can't really be afraid of the fact that like you be busting niggas over the head with like economy sized cans of corn or some shit like that. Like, we're over that now. It's never gonna be that life for you again, sir.
Never. That is crazy. That is crazy. How, like, if you can look now to be like, what that moment did for you in your life.
I would look at it and say that it's more so part of Norway's impact, because there's a zillion of those stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, Norway Anderson was never my booker or my manager. He never took care of my career, but he got me in the same room with Naomi Campbell's agent. You understand? Like,
yeah, that's real.
And that's when I say Norway Anderson's the GOAT, and like, if you've been around him, you're instantly the Charlie Murphy of the fashion industry. Like, shit goes down.
Jeez.
Not in the DMs, in real life.
Yeah.
Like,
legit.
we knew the things before the things were popping in the city.
Legit.
King Street, say what's real. At some point, Norway was filling up your spot with beer bottles. Talk to them. Every fucking last one of you. King Street.
Well, close out a play on Vogue for this week, Killa.
Close it out. Charlie Murphy shit. Big up to Norway Anderson. Norway Anderson's the GOAT. Full life. The only agent I would fuck with.
Legit.
Real ass nigga.
Real shit.
So yeah.
Gotta have him on the show one day.
Actually.
For real. And Caffrey. What am I playing with?
Another one.
No, we're gonna work it out.
Should have like a whole little round table.
Shout out to you, Kings, for real. Okay, so for Bear Fruit this week, as we told you, we giving you the first playlist, Bear Fruit, last week. And our second playlist out now, Mango. Enjoy it. Get your exercise in. I feel like women, you know what? We didn't even do that on purpose, but I just took it in. Like, I feel like during this episode, we really spoke for Black women, and we have some real Black women on that playlist this week representing and letting you know, don't fight over no man. In our real life, you're good up. You're a walking trophy. You're a queen of the pack.
Your alpha vibes.
And mind your business.
Just, you know. So, music-wise, I do want to do, I don't know, is there anything else you want? Oh yeah, my Bear Fruit for this week as one of the tracks that was my pick on the playlist. Let me tell you what my choice was, or like the track that I want to highlight on the playlist that I chose this week. So for me, I'm gonna say Regular by Miss Thing, because that just brought me back. Like this whole playlist just brought me back to like a really like great time in life. And as well, like it was a banging anthem. Like if you love reggae, period, this is just a song you should know. And it's just the thing she's saying in the song. Like it gets deep. Like hot gal from regular, from your hot gal show me the cellular, comfortable cause your boyfriend a hustler. Gal get to her pen. Right? Picture a rose waiting in the wind as it blows. Okay. Beer bars in there. And she's just reminding you, as we said, we get into those spaces sometimes where it's just like, not you forget who you are, but you just need a little reminder, need a pick me up, need to know that like it's not all end all be all. It's just a moment. It will pass. You will make it through. And as queens, we got to remind ourselves that. So enjoy Mango playlist. Killa, what is your bear fruit pick for this week?
Mine is gonna be Boss Man. Off the strength that like Lady Saw just came way too hard. Like she kind of just came and stole up the track one time. And she's an artist that when you sit down and actually listen to what she's saying, you're just like, what the
Bars.
whole ass?
Bars.
Why'd you just say that? Straight bars, fire. And like she brought it in that track. That's always been like my hype track. You know what I mean? Like you gotta go get him, Tiger. So
legit. I
and then the fact that it starts the playlist, like
it was the energy. I was like, I was like rearranging. I was like, actually, this is when I want to first hear blast into my ears.
Straight. It was a good look. It's a good look.
Do you remember the video?
Yes.
Fire. Oh my god. Shout outs, like just better times in life. I mean, just bare shellings.
Right?
But
I feel like dance was like running the world.
Yeah, let everyone know, Killa, once again, who we're sponsored by.
Ooh. I see little things for all the waist beads, for all the cute little anklets. Waist beads for the Wakandan army. Hit up bigkilla.com for the merch, right?
How do they spell Big Killa?
Everywhere, like, sorry?
How do they spell Big Killa?
Just like the Instagram handle.
Okay.
4 A's.
Okay. And also, say Lisi.
So Lisi, for the butters and scrubs. You gotta stay smooth. You're gonna go outside at some point.
Right? Real soon. Outside is calling.
Actually.
Fresh air is needed to be had, more than enough. And also, guys, we are sponsored by Shop Downtown, where you can get your official Downtown World merch. Guys, I want to thank you so much for just supporting us. This has been an amazing season 2, episode 2. Yes, mango. We gave it. It was sweet. It was succulent. The seed was there. You got some hot. You got some hot Jamaican ginger in there too. And it's just been an amazing journey. Killa, I want to say thank you again just for like even agreeing to go on this ride with me, because I know, guys, you don't know Killa, when she says no, it's a no. Okay. Just so you know. Just so you know, if there's a person where their no is like, shorty, it's a no. It's Killa. So I want to say thank you again just so much for being on this journey with me. Like, truly love you for real. And guys, this has been Eat Fruit. We ate fruit. We minded our business. Downtown World. Don't waste no time with negativity. Support your queens. Support the Black-owned businesses. You already know what it is. And we hope to bring you more positive vibes and realness. Maybe not so much hot Jamaican ginger, but if the times are required, it will be done.
Speaking of Jamaican ginger, Check out my NFT on Raribles.
Oh, how are you just gonna slide that in
I
at
just
the end?
slid that one in.
Bro, did you officially release your NFT now?
So I still need to get verified,
Okay.
but her link is up in my bio.
Okay.
For now, we're going through that process. And as soon as that happens, like it can be seen anywhere. If you follow me on Twitter, Big Killa is my Twitter handle, same as on IG. You should be able to catch it on one of the links that's been posted.
I'm so proud of you. Like, guys, okay, so I'm gonna check out that link because I know it's gonna be some super fire. You didn't show man's no previews, so I'm excited to see it.
Hey.
So guys,